Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Chris. Today's video is all about perfumes I cannot stop wearing. In other words, fragrances I am kind of obsessed with at the moment. Listen, I'm always testing new releases because that's what you guys want. But when I'm not doing that, I tend to be drawn to the same fragrances over and over and over again, and those are the perfumes I will be talking about with you today. Now, some of these perfumes are new, you've never heard me talk about, at least here, and that may have something to do with why I'm really kind of obsessed with them at the moment. A few you have heard me talk about before, but I just can't stop wearing them. I always find it very comforting when some content creators tend to talk about perfumes that they like. It tells me that they really do like them. So you're gonna be seeing a couple perfumes I've talked about before, and with that, I'm just gonna jump right in. The first perfume I'm going to start off with was a fragrance that kind of took me by surprise. I discovered it by going through the discovery set that Navitus so kindly gifted me. And when I got to this perfume, I was like, wow, what is this? This is really, really good. And I think one of the many reasons I liked it is because it is a vanilla, but it's an easy to like vanilla. It's not overly gourmand. Listen, I love my gourmand vanillas. I love to smell like something edible, but there are times that I just want something that's easier to wear, more versatile, something I can wear in more situations, including work. And so I was really drawn to this perfume right away. It's called Splendeur Absolu. And this is one that was done in collaboration with Victor de Souza. So again, it is a unisex vanilla. It's spicy, it's citrusy, it's boozy. It has some gourmand elements. It's very unisex. It has some musk in it. And when I showed it over on Instagram, I think I showed it on one of my stories, a couple people asked me if it smells like Baby Cat, and I was really kind of surprised because I'm a huge lover of Baby Cat. I did an entire video based on fragrances that smell similar to Baby Cat. Now, mind you, I didn't have this perfume at the time. I've only had this for about a month, but the thought of Baby Cat never crossed my mind, and I wondered why. And of course, I went over to Fragrantica, and down below, I typically don't do this, but under the category of smells like, I saw Baby Cat. Now, I typically take what's on Fragrantica other than the notes with a grain of salt. Many, many times I do not agree with the category smells like. Sometimes I do, oftentimes I don't. I don't rely heavily on that, nor do I rely heavily on the comments. In fact, I try not to read them because I don't want them to influence what I think about a fragrance. But this is a time where I do not think that the two smell alike at all. And I've worn them side by side now 2 days in a row, and they're just nothing alike. I wore Baby Cat and this one to work today, one on one arm, one on the other. And I asked 4 people which one they preferred, which one they liked better. And 4 out of the 4 people, I was shocked, liked this one. And I think it's because, well, I asked them, it's because Baby Cat's very smoky. It's smoky, it has a lot of incense, it's very peppery. I mean, that's a big part of what Baby Cat is, other than the vanilla and the suede, is the incense, is the smoky incense and the spices, the pepperiness. This has none of that. This has no incense, this has no pepper. It has some booziness, it has vanilla, a little bit of tonka, a little bit of greenness, maybe some Divana. It does have a little bit of chocolate in this, but it's way in the background. This one does have citruses that Baby Cat does not, and I actually get that a lot in the beginning and in the middle part of the perfume, and the citruses with the vanilla in here comes off like a little bit like a lemon curd. So it has this beautiful citrusy vanilla aspect to it. Boozy, it's light, it's an elegant vanilla. It is on the quiet side. I do think Baby Cat is stronger. And this one has kind of a prominent musk. Now, I will say that the musk in here resembles a little bit the musk in Rosenda Matut number 5, which did not work for me. That one was decluttered because that musk was too strong, too animalic, and it smelled like burned rubber to me. That type of musk is in here, but it is way toned down. It's almost as if the musk in Rosenda Matut number 5 is amped up at a 10, and in here it's dialed down like at a 3. So that would be the one perfume where there's some recognizable aspect in here. Other than that, it really is kind of a standalone fragrance, and this and Baby Cat are not redundant. They are, in my opinion, 2 very different perfumes, and I ran it by 4 people at work. All 4 people had very strong thoughts about the 2 fragrances, and surprisingly, they all loved this. And now, I guess I shouldn't say surprisingly, because smoky incense is not something that's very universally appealing, even though I love it. But there's a time and a place for every perfume. I think Baby Cat and a smoky, incensey perfume is better for the colder months. This one could be worn year round, but this is gonna be a perfume that will do really well in the warmer months, in addition to maybe like a date night during the winter time. But I love it. It is, again, on the quiet side, but it does last long on the close. The next fragrance I got, I was never planning on talking about it here on YouTube because it was supposed to be like a very limited release. Only 1,000 bottles were originally created, so I jumped on it. I grabbed mine, and my bottle is number 570 out of 999, and it's called Liquide by Liquide Imaginaires. So this is a Quentin Biche creation. Well, he co-created it with another perfumer, and I'm blanking on the name. And the only reason I talk about it now is because I hear it's going to be part of the collection. So I don't like to talk about fragrances that have been discontinued or impossible to get. So it is now time to talk about this perfume that is very, very addictive to me, that I can't stop wearing, and I've been wearing it since getting it last year. It's just such a delicious perfume, and this is a perfume that really smells like the bottle looks. The fragrance does kind of smell like Liquide Gold. It is an orange blossom forward fragrance. It has some citruses in it. It's got a lot of musk. It's leathery to me, but there's no leather accord, but there's saffron. So saffron a lot of times smells like leather to me. There's a little bit of carrot seed, which kind of adds to the gold quality. A little bit of aldehydes, and I'm blanking on the spices right now other than saffron, but it is a nice, warm, spicy fragrance. It is absolutely addictive to me. It just feels like I'm wearing a warm golden coat when I'm wearing this. It is delicious, and like I say, I literally cannot stop wearing it when I spray this on myself. Now, there's a reason why I talk about the next perfume. It is another one co-created by the same two perfumers. And when I smelled this, I got this sample over a year ago. This one is Desert Suave. When I first got the sample and I sprayed it, and I think it was in the summertime, I was like, oh, it was super hot that day, and I thought, this is probably not the best perfume to wear in 95-degree weather. I put it away, and then I revisited it maybe a month ago. I was going through my travel sprays, and I sprayed it, and I thought, oh my gosh, this perfume is really amazing. And when I smelled it, I knew immediately, this is a Quentin Biche creation. This smells like Quentin Biche, and there was something about it that reminded me a little bit of Liquide or Liquide Gold. The reason why I did is because it's made by the same two perfumers. This one also has orange blossom as the star, but it goes in a different direction. This one is much more of a gourmand. It has this beautiful date note. It's got sesame in here. I'm going to spray it because it smells so good. So it has a warm, sweet nuttiness to it. The orange blossom is still in here, but it feels like the orange blossom is just marinated in this beautiful date sesame elixir. It's almost like a brittle. The dates and the sesame are sweet, almost like a brittle, so it has an ambery, brittle sweetness. Oh my gosh, that is so gorgeous. It's somewhat similar to Atlas Gardens, but this is the better version to me. There was just something a little bit metallic in Atlas Gardens, particularly in the mid to dry down. This one is very similar in note profile, but it doesn't go that way. Just a warm, rich, sweet, enveloping, nutty, spicy, beautiful floral gourmand with orange blossom as the star floral, and I just love it. And so this is a perfect example of, this was not a love at first sniff, but this was a love at second sniff, and I have been wearing it so much, I finally got a bottle of it. The bottle of it is on its way because I found a really good deal on Joma Shop, so I'm super excited to have that as part of my collection. Okay, the next two I'm going to go for are the two perfumes from LK that I've just been literally obsessed with since last year. I got the Discovery set from LK. It's a fabulous Discovery set. If you want to smell 12 amazing perfumes, get that sample set or get the Discovery set. It was a lot of fun going through it. The problem is I loved so many and they're not super duper affordable. So I'm going to have to kind of pace myself through the set, but I got my two favorites, and those are the two I'm going to talk about because I can't stop wearing them. This one I've talked about before. This is Lettre de Pushkar. This is a beautiful rose fragrance. I showed it in my most recent rose video. Gosh, this is a stunning rose, an ambery, spicy rose perfume that is just delicious. It has, so this would be, in my opinion, this is a floral gourmand. The rose is very dark, it's very rich, it's very sweet. It's enveloped in this beautiful ambery sweetness. It has spices, so this has saffron, but the saffron does not go in the leathery direction, which in many ways takes a fragrance, almost makes it a little bit sour and bitter. So the saffron is just spicy, non-leathery, and it has some baking spices, but it doesn't smell overly gourmand. I want to say like nutmeg. There's nutmeg in here. Totally adds to this gourmand rose covered in amber. It's absolutely delectable. I love it. And when I wear this, I really feel fancy. I feel like $1,000,000. Absolutely love this one. The next one, I have been on the hunt for the perfect woody scent for years and years and years. I've been looking for a perfume that smells like the woods. Straight up forest. Nothing extra, just beautiful woods, bark, trees. And I found it. I found it in this perfume, this magical perfume called Cri Du Kalahari. And this perfume pays homage, or the point of view is around a famous tree that grows in Africa, that is endemic to Africa and Madagascar. And it's called the baobab tree, otherwise known as the tree of life. Now this tree grows in very, very dry, arid situations. Usually there's some sort of river or water source nearby, but this is called the tree of life because the trunk can store a lot of water. And so when there's a drought, the elephants will come by and they'll pick at the bark and suck on the trunk of the tree, which is very wet, that has a lot of moisture. And the locals will make tea out of the seeds from the fruit, and the fruit has a lot of vitamin C, so it's very nourishing. And also the leaves of the tree are very edible, and they are a high source of iron. So this tree is literally the tree of life, and I'm telling you, this is just the most beautiful, perfect, somewhat linear, woody fragrance. If you are like me and have been looking for the perfect, just straight up realistic woody fragrance, it's right here. So I mean, on Fragrantica, I think they just list the baobab tree or the baobab tree as the only note, but this has sandalwood, cedar, a little bit of pepper, I think it's green pepper, and probably some patchouli. But those together, they just smell like the most magical tree. It's as if you pulled the bark, you peeled back the bark of a beautiful, thriving tree, and you just got hit in the face with magical woody goodness. It's right here. The only thing that's kind of come close to the woodiness of this is milky musk, but that has a lot of musk. That has other things going on, and the longevity of that is really, really bad. In fact, my bottle, which is about 4 years old, the longevity is even more abysmal than normal. The performance on this is unbelievable. I actually wore it to work and everybody commented on this perfume. I could smell it on me literally all day. It is delicious, very unisex, and for those people who are looking for a really straightforward, woody scent without any extra fluff. It is gorgeous, and I highly, highly recommend you getting a sample if you've been looking for that perfect woody scent as well. I haven't found anything better. All right, the next of my current obsession is called Baciami. The last time you saw me talk about this, I had the sample, I had the tester, and I knew then and there I was going to get a full bottle. This is a beautiful white flower fragrance infused with vanilla and amber, and the white flowers in particular, the white flower in particular is, this is gardenia. So this is like a gardenia dipped in vanilla and amber and a little bit of musk. It almost has the slightest bit of a fruity sweetness, maybe a little bit of plum in the background. I don't think it's listed on Fragrantica, but I get like the slightest hint of a lovely, a dark fruity sweetness that kind of looks like the bottle. It has a tropical vibe. It has a tropical vacation vibe, but it does not go into that sunscreen zone. It has no coconut. So it's heading there, but it goes in a different direction. To me, this is tropical vacation at night when you're all dressed up. Like you're dressed up on vacation and you're wearing a black long gown and a red lip. This is beautiful. Longevity would be, I would call it moderate. Something I just can't stop wearing, and Picky Pat finds that really nice when I wear it. The next one is an affordable cheapie that I really have been loving. It's more of a casual perfume. I wear it after the shower if I'm going to run errands and it's a little bit sunny. The weather's starting to turn warm, but we're in the Midwest, so it was 60 degrees today. We know it's going to be 20 degrees in 2 days, but on the few warm days I have worn this. It's called Silky Rose. I got this for like 19 bucks on Joma Shop. This is a very fun, whimsical, fresh, dewy rose with some fruitiness and some musk. So I think it has lychee in here, and it resembles a bunch of different type of perfumes. It resembles things in the Miss Dior line, Miss Dior Absolutely Blooming, Miss Dior Blooming Bouquet, a little bit of Idole by Lancôme. You add those together and give a little bit of musk, you're going to come up with something very, very similar. It is somewhat light wearing. It's been light wearing on some of the colder days. Again, it hasn't been warmer. Here is in the 50s. That's what we call warm in the wintertime. Well, that's blazing hot in the wintertime. But it's actually been in the 60s and the high 60s a couple days, and it's done better. So this will be really great in the hotter weather. A fantastic, affordable perfume that I have been reaching for. And the next one is another affordable perfume that I have been obsessed with. You guys know this. I showed this on 2 different videos. One was on some of my current favorite Middle Eastern fragrances. It is called Musamam White Intense. I love everything about this perfume. I love the bottle. I love the way it smells. I just think this is a fantastic sandalwood, a coconutty sandalwood fragrance with a little bit of slight floral undertones. This is a really good perfume, I think, for the summer, because this is going to be a fantastic warmer weather sandalwood because of that coconut. Again, it's got the slightest bit of a tropical vibe. It's got some ylang-ylang in here, and it has a nice sweetness. It has a very light resinous sweetness, but it's not overly ambery, and it's not overly sweet. It still is, it's dry, slightly tropical, a little bit sweet, but not gourmand, so it'll be fantastic in the warmer weather. I have been loving on this, but let me tell you, this is going to get worn a ton as the weather warms up. I'm obsessed with this one. And I think the last one I'm going to show, because I have been wearing it a lot, is only a tester. I've got the travel spray. I've got the prettiest travel spray known to mankind. This thing is so beautiful. So this one is Passion de l'Amour, and I only have the travel, but it is my next full bottle from the house of Saie. This is the first fruity oud perfume that I actually fell in love with. And when I looked at the notes, I got the Discovery set and I looked at the notes and I saw that oud was the most prominent note. I kind of put it to the side. I knew it was just not going to go over well with me because I'm just not a fan of overly animalic oud fragrances. Listen, the 2 notes that I think should be completely banned in all perfumes are a skanky barnyard animalic oud and cumin. Those 2 notes just smell terrible in a perfume. Listen, I just, for the life of me, I can't figure out why anyone would want to smell like a barnyard or armpits. And that's what animalic oud and cumin smell like to me. Nevertheless, I went ahead and tried it. I got the Discovery set, oh, I don't know, maybe last summer. And it was the last one I tried and I couldn't believe how much I loved it. So the oud in here is strong at first, and it's definitely the first thing you're going to smell. But then what you're going to smell is fruit, a beautiful ambery floral fruitiness. So the oud it's very woody and it does resemble oud, but it never ever gets into that barnyardy smell, and it only gets more beautiful and pleasant with time. That it's like this beautiful wood soaked in a raspberry syrup with some luscious florals in the background and some amber. It has this beautiful floral perfumey quality to it, but it's still really a fruity oud. This is a fruity oud. This is the best fruity oud I've ever laid my nose on, and there are a lot of them out there. that have not won me over. This completely won me over, and I've been wearing, I think I wore it 3 times in the past week. I wore this yesterday. It's just so, it's pretty, it's elegant, it's very, very dressed up. This is not casual. This is very elegant. This is a showstopper. This is not a casual perfume. I mean, I would only wear this when I was like dressed up. It's just that pretty. So that's it, maybe 9 or 10 perfumes that I keep going to. I can't stop wearing in between, trying everything, trying all the new releases, wearing my loves that I've had for several years. These are the ones that I just keep gravitating to because they're on the newish side, and I have just been loving them. So that was it. Before I go, I would love to hear about your fragrances that you just can't stop wearing, the ones that you're currently obsessed with. Let us all know down in the comments below. Thanks again for sticking around. Thanks for watching me. If you like my content, and if you've been before and not yet subscribed, I would love it if you would join my community. Hit the subscribe button and like this video if you enjoyed it. It really does help my channel. And with that, I will see you on the next one, which is going to be in about 5 minutes.